a cooperation and non-aggression pact with the Jews. Soon after immigrating to Medina and making sure that the pillars of the new Islamic community were well established on strong basis of administrative, political and ideological unity, the Prophet commenced to establish regular and clearly defined relations with non-Muslims. All of these efforts were exerted solely to provide peace, security and prosperity to all mankind at large, and to bring about a spirit of rapport and harmony within his region in particular. Geographically, the closest people to Medina were the Jews, whilst harbouring evil intentions and nursing bitter grudge. They showed not the least resistance nor the slightest animosity. The Prophet decided to ratify a treaty with them with clauses that provide full freedom in faith and wealth. He had no intention whatsoever of following severe policies involving banishment, seizure of wealth and land or hostility. The treaty came within the context of another one of a larger framework relating to inter-Muslim relationships. The most important provisions of the treaty are the following. The Jews of Bani Auf are one community with the believers. The Jews will profess their religion and the Muslims theirs. The Jews shall be responsible for their expenditure and the Muslims for theirs. If attacked by a third party, each shall come to the assistance of the other. Each party shall hold counsel with the other. Mutual relation shall be founded on righteousness. Sin is totally excluded. Neither shall commit sins to the prejudice of the other. The wronged party shall be aided. The Jews shall contribute to the cost of war, so long as they are fighting alongside the believers. Medina shall remain sacred and inviolable for all that join this treaty. Should any disagreement arise between the signatories to this treaty, then Allah the All-High and His Messenger shall settle the dispute. The signatories to this treaty shall boycott Quraysh commercially. They shall also abstain from extending any support to them. Each shall contribute to defending Medina in case of a foreign attack in its respective area. This treaty shall not hinder either party from seeking lawful revenge. Medina and its suburbs, after the ratification of this treaty, turned into a coalition state, with Medina proper as capital and Muhammad as president. Authorities lay mainly in the land of the Muslims, and consequently it was a real capital of Islam. To expand the zone of peace and security, the Prophet started to enter into similar treaties with other tribes living around his state. The Prophet of the battlefield, the Qurayshites, mortified at the escape of the Prophet, along with his devoted companions, and jealous of his growing power in Medina, kept a stringent watch over the Muslims left behind and persecuted them in every possible way. They also initiated clandestine contacts with Abdullah ibn Ubi, chief of Madani's, polytheist and president designate of the tribes Aus and Khazraj. Before the Prophet's immigration, they sent him a strongly worded ultimatum, ordering him to fight or expel the Prophet. Otherwise, they would launch a widespread military campaign that would exterminate his people and proscribe his woman. His pride wounded and kingship no longer his, Abdullah bin or Priory responded positively to his Qurayshite co-polytheists. He mobilized his supporters to counteract the Muslims. The Prophet, on hearing about this unholy alliance, summoned Abdullah and admonished him to be more sensible and thoughtful, and cautioned his men against being snared in malicious tricks. The men, on grounds of cowardice or reason, gave up the idea. Their chief, however, seemingly complied, but at heart he remained a wicked, unpredictable accomplice. With Quraysh and the envious Jews, skirmishes and provocations started to pave the way for a major confrontation between the Muslims and polytheists. An outstanding helper announced his intention to observe Umrah, lesser pilgrimage, and headed for Mecca. There, Umayyah bin Khalaf provided tutelage for him to observe the ritual circumambulation. Abu Jahl, an arch-enemy of Islam, saw him in the sacred sanctuary and threatened he would have killed him if he had not been in the company of Umayyah. Fearlessly and defiantly challenged him to committing any folly of the risk of cutting their caravans off. Provocation actions continued, and Quraysh sent the Muslims a note threatening to put them to death in their own homeland. Those were not mere words, for the Prophet received information from reliable